Oh, I just wanted to do a quick little stream here, or live stream, and then I might actually hop on to Sonic after this quick live stream if you want to watch that too, and might kind of do a little bit of a countdown till New Year's, at least for the East Coast. I'm in the West Coast, so I don't know if I'm going to play that one or not, but I might at least do the 9 o'clock, which would be, midnight in the East. Got about an hour to go till that. 4 hours for me though on the West Coast. But I want to do a top five most hype games of 2023 here since we're about to go into 2023. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my top five here, starting with number one, going down to number five. So starting with my most hyped to my least hyped out of the five. But these I feel like are by far my top five, which is why I don't go beyond that because there's a lot of games coming out next year. Next year is just absurdly loaded with games, even with though we don't know a lot with Sony and Sega half or so of Nintendo's year, but there's a lot of big multi-platform games coming out, which is why I'm pretty safe to say that 2023 is going to be a great year for gaming, maybe the best ever. Um, and yeah, we'll see what happens with unannounced games. But anyway, my top five starting with number one most hype games for 2023 is Zelda Tears of Kingdom. So this one's my number one because I love Zelda. Big Zelda fan, and Breath of the Wild is my all-time favorite video game ever made. But even with it being my all-time favorite game, I thought it had some things that were kind of lacking or flaws, with, if you will, lack of a story and lack of dungeons being the two big ones. Because those are two of the, I'd say, three things I think of first when I think of Zelda. The other one typically is music. And I think that Nintendo will listen to people and that we'll get more of those classic style dungeons where you have dungeons that have different themes, as well as the fact that now we have like the sky. So it's gonna be interesting to see how big is the map now, because the map in Breath of the Wild was already giant, and now with having the sky on top of that, you could have who knows how many islands in the sky. In one of the trailers, there was quite a bit that you could see, and then I'm sure there was quite a bit you couldn't see. And who knows, maybe we'll have some underground caves and stuff added to that as well. But yeah, that's definitely my number one. Can't wait for the next trailer. Hopefully, we'll get that shortly, pretty early in 2023, and not have to wait too long to get some more gameplay for that. So my number, and all five of these I'd say are pretty close to each other all, especially the first like three or so. My number two game right now for 2023 most hyped is Spider-Man 2. I love Insomniac games. I'm a big Spider-Man fan as well, and both Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales were great games. But knowing Insomniac, I think they're going to kick it out of the park, and I think Spider-Man 2 will be a pretty big improvement over Spider-Man 1. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Venom. And the two things I kind of expect for the game, because of the fact that it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, is faster web swinging. I think we'll see compared to the first game and the Miles game because of the SSD. So faster web swinging, and then I think we'll have a lot more options with combat in terms of moves and finishers and stuff, because that's just kind of you know a normal thing with sequels in video games, is to give your more options in terms of either gadgets or more combat moves and such. So I think that will be a big one. For Spider-Man 2 will be more combat, as like it said, and then the web swinging, and it'll be interesting to see just what else they do in the game with both Miles as well as Peter. And I'm sure the game's gonna look bloody fantastic visually, because Insomniac's already really good with that. And it'll been a little bit since Ratchet and Clank came out in 2021, meaning a few more years for them kind of getting used to the PlayStation 5 and be able to kind of push it a little more towards its max capabilities with its power and such. So that's number two. My number three, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So this one I'm pretty hyped for because it's made by Rocksteady, who hasn't released a normal game since 2015. I say normal because they did have a Batman VR, Arkham VR sort of game, but obviously it's a little bit different being in VR setting and stuff. And even that I think was like 2017 or so. So it's been a while since they've had one. And I love the Batman Arkham games. They are some of my favorite video games ever made, including the last one, Arkham Knight, is my third favorite video game ever made, behind only Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Zelda Ocarina of Time. And City's pretty high on my list as well. It's like my number five or so. And yeah, I being that it's made by that same studio, as well as Kevin being back one last time to do the voice for Batman, rest in peace. That also is very exciting. And we haven't seen a lot of gameplay, so I'm really looking forward to seeing more gameplay. But from the little bit we've seen, it looks like it's going to be a very kind of fast paced jumping around and shooting and such, and just looks very good from what the little bit we've seen. I'm anxious for the Harry Potter game to get out, even though I don't care for Harry Potter at all personally, just because with those both being WB games, I think once Harry Potter comes out will be when Suicide Squad marketing starts to ramp up for that game. You start getting more gameplay and trailers and win previews and all that good stuff. But until Harry Potter comes out in, I think, middle February, I don't really expect to get anything for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So yeah, that's my number 3. My number 4 is Horizon Burning Shores DLC. The DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. I love the Horizon games. I consider Horizon Forbidden West the best game ever made by Sony when it comes to like first party games. And Zero Dawn's my number 2. And I felt like Forbidden West basically did everything you can possibly ask for a sequel to do. It improved in a lot of ways. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Burning Shores DLC to see if they can improve off the base game or not. Because with the first game, Zero Dawn, I felt like they improved with the DLC. I forget what the DLC was called now because it was kind of similar to Forbidden West, but a little bit different. But anyway, the Zero Dawn's DLC was actually better than the main game, I thought, with some of the new machines we got and whatnot. Had my favorite machine actually was in Zero Dawn, was from the DLC, which was like the Frostclaw, Snowclaw kind of bear creature. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see what Burning Shores will do in terms of new machines, as well as the fact that it looks like we're going to get to fight a machine that we've basically been waiting 2 games to fight. And it's also PlayStation 5 only, which was a surprise because the base game was on PlayStation 4. And that makes me even more hyped because with it being PlayStation 5 only, that means they can push the DLC more to the max when it comes to what the game can do graphically, as well as maybe some of the destruction, such as like seeing the Hollywood sign getting broken through by the big machine stuff. And also having the lava, I think, was going to look amazing because the lava in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looked amazing. The color just really, really popped, and I expect something similar to that because one of the things with 4K and whatnot is that things that have a lot of color, such as like animated stuff or lava, the colors really, really pop. So I'm looking forward to that too. And hopefully in the DLC, they'll have the ability to fight underwater, because that was the one disappointment I had in Horizon Forbidden West. And I love Horizon Forbidden West. It's my 10th favorite game of all time. But I felt disappointed by the lack of underwater fight, because when we first got the news that you were going to be able to like swim underwater and such, I thought for sure that there would be like some sort of shark machine or octopus or something, and that you'd get to fight it with like a harpoon gun or a torpedo or something like that underwater, and we didn't. So I just felt like it was a big missed opportunity to not have something like that when you're adding all the underwater stuff. So hopefully the DLC will have something like that. If not, then maybe Horizon 3, as I know that will definitely be getting made. Just a matter of when, and obviously it won't be for a while. By the time it does come out, it's going to be obviously PlayStation 5 only, or it could depend on how long it takes and how long the generation goes, maybe even cross-gen with PS6, but I don't know. But yeah, that's my number 4. And my number 5 is also another Horizon-related thing, which is Horizon Call of the Mountain. So I never played VR up until last year when I was at someone's house for 4th of July. I tried the MetaQuest and tried Beat Saber and stuff, and Beat Saber was a lot of fun. I'm hoping Beat Saber will get poured over to PlayStation VR 2, because that was one of the things that kind of got me wanting to get a VR. And I'm also wanting to get a VR because of like games like Jurassic World and whatnot. But yeah, Horizon Call of the Mountain, because again, I love the Horizon games, so I'm interested to see what the VR game will be like. And yeah, that's kind of the first thing I plan on playing on VR. I'm still not 100% sure if I'm actually going to get a VR or not right away. I have one pre-ordered, but I might put it off because my financial situation right now is not in a stable situation, thanks to work and the fact that I've had a really hard time finding a job in the past, and yeah, just not in a good situation right now, work related. So hopefully that won't last too long to 2023, and I can get a PlayStation VR as well as these other games I've already listed and a whole bunch of other games I haven't listed. But anyway, that's my top 5. most hype games for 2023. Once again, recap real quick. Number 1, Zelda Breath of the Wild, or sorry, recap real quick, and I messed up on that. But number 1, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. Number 3, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Number 4 is Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC. And number 5 is Horizon Call of the Mountain. So just want to know what you guys think of those games, as well as what are your top 5 most hyped for games of 2023. I also want to make one short prediction here, which is I've been seeing a lot of hype of Starfield for I think a couple of years now, and I honestly don't understand the hype for Starfield. It got a lot of hype literally when all we had was a title. We had like no idea what it was going to be, no screenshots, no gameplay, no nothing. It was already getting hyped. And then last year we did get some gameplay, and I didn't think it looked all that great. Kind of thought it looked like a poor No Man's Sky version or something. But my prediction is that Starfield will flop, or if not flop, maybe flops is the wrong word, but I'm going to say that Starfield will be the disappointment of 2023, that it won't even be close to the hype that people are thinking of it, and that it will score like a sub 85 on Metacritic. And with the kind of hype it's been getting, I think most people have been expecting like a 95 sort of score on Metacritic, but I'm going to say it does much lower than that, and that people are just left feeling kind of disappointed and let down by it. But anyway, that's my stream. Let me know what your comments, or let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe as always. And yeah, I'm gonna end this stream, and actually I'm gonna do a little bit of a stream on Sonic Frontiers right now. If you want to turn over to that and watch me as I'm gonna play. And it's 8:12 right now. I'll probably play till around 9 or so Pacific time. I'm in, and within a minute or so of 9 o'clock, I'll probably pause and do kind of like a countdown to New Year's for New York time. And after that, that'll probably be the rest of that might be the rest of tonight. I'm not sure what I'm going to do besides trying to maybe watch the countdown a little bit later for my Western New Year's, and maybe watch a few things in between. But anyway, comments below, like, subscribe, and hit me in the next one.